what I have done to you? Why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to kill my people, my parents?
Yes, that's the next one. How much for a kilogram of humanitarian aid?
Well, it's easy to count. €2 per kilo. Just feel free to take. The scales
Okay,
are on
I'll
the
keep
X.
it. Just between us, have you been like dragging the tank through the bottom of the sea or something?
Either I piss or shit my pants. What do I do? Probably both.
Doing volunteering publicly and actually publicly supporting Ukraine, even here in Europe, it's actually not only difficult, but it's also dangerous to an extent.
Some of my ladies been threatened at the place they live, completely far away from the warehouse.
So, welcome to KvitCast.
Thank you.
It's an attempt to make an English-speaking podcast about Ukraine, about Ukrainians abroad, about volunteering, and all the related stuff. And today, my guest is Serhiy Shevchenko. Serhiy Shevchenko is a head of the logistics center of Ukrainian Association in Finland and a new member of the board, so I've heard. Is it true?
Oh, yes. Last weekend we have had an annual meeting and a small election, and I'm additional member of a board, or in another words, I'm in reserve.
Not bad, not bad. But congratulations anyway.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So, logistics center of the Ukrainian Association in Finland. I have some statistics here. These guys have sent 66 fully loaded trucks with humanitarian aid to Ukraine. And when I say fully loaded, it's like up to the ceiling. You should see the videos. It's amazing. 110 cars handed over to Ukrainian defenders. Deliveries to all over Ukraine, over 1,000 tons of humanitarian aid delivered to Ukraine. Huge warehouse operation. So, well, it's quite a big operation here going on. So, how did you end up here? Like, describe your first month, I guess, after full-scale invasion, because I don't think it was here before the 24th of February 2022.
No. If we're starting from the end, this is our fourth warehouse.
Okay.
I mean, not by quantity, but in a row. So we have to move 3 times from one to another due to the costs, because first 2 we got free of charge for a few months, but then we had to pay for our rent, and now luckily over a year, Vanta City, where we are now, is helping us and funding our, or providing free of charge former school, so we can do our operations. How it started? Of course, everybody woke up in the morning with terrible, shocking conditions, and it's really a moment in a life which I would wish to nobody to feel it. And when you read all this news and see reports, this total shelling of Ukraine, invading from different angles, you can remember yourself what was your feeling. And some people have had a history, some people have huge stress, but some people had a huge require for action. So you feel that you have to do something. You cannot just leave it as it is. And then, of course, with most of us, we forgot about our work. It was Thursday, and they just went to the meeting, and in front of the Finnish Parliament, to express our feelings, to express our souls. But as for me, my personal feeling, I mean, like, what is this demonstration for? Of course, we need to show ourselves, but we cannot demand anything from the Finnish state. They are not guilty in that. I mean, it's not a place for me, for sure. Then Friday, I think there was no demonstration, or at least I haven't been there. But Saturday there was a huge demonstration, and we had kind of in two sets, like a morning and after afternoon. And in between of that, we've been waiting in Audi library. And I was sitting among my friends, among other Ukrainians here who lives in Finland, and thinking like, talking loud, thinking loud. We have to do something else. It's not enough that we stand to demonstration, because it's already third day of a war, and nothing has changed in a positive side. Like, it doesn't matter. I didn't see a point how we, with our demonstrations in Finland, can help our people in Ukraine. So I have started to talk with the people, and they kind of support me, but they were a little bit lost, didn't know. They say, yeah, we have to do something, but what? And I have to mention that I was participating in a small group of people, and of course not only I, but we've been collecting humanitarian aid since 2014 with a different small organizations. Or
Just
group.
for the context, the war in Ukraine started in 2014. Russia invaded in 2014.
Yeah, the full-scale invasion. So we have had a small experience of volunteering, but it's completely not comparable to what it is now. And this is just a piece of the big cake. So we've been collecting mostly clothes to the families which have lost one of the parents, and mostly living in villages with no income, with many children in one family. And it was like specifically collected for specific recipients, children in Ukraine. So we knew that there's a boy 5-year-old with this and this sizes, so he got like a box just for him. And there is a girl, and there's another boy. So that's what we done. And our room was in a gallery, so maybe 10 square meters. Here we have 2,000, 2 floors. So it's not comparable. So coming back to Saturday, it was, I was thinking, I have to do something. I don't mind what others do, but I need to feel myself that I'm participating in it, that I'm doing something, I'm helping. And after the demonstration, I went home and just sat down by the PC, and I will write a post that we are restoring, because we have put on hold our activity for a while. Was it for half a year, 1 year or something, but we have to restore. So I publish within a closed group, Facebook group, that we are restoring our activity. So please mark yourself with a number, just with a number. You don't write your minds, you don't write what you are thinking, because really we need to be clear and extremely fast. So I gave an options like with a 1, 1.1, 1.3, 2, 2.2. So 1, I think it was logistics, so it's mostly about driving, because I was imagining myself that the activity, humanitarian activity, will be in a similar way as we did before, but running a little bit in front of my speech is totally different, absolutely different, nothing to do with that.
So you basically like listed options, what people can do,
yes,
yeah, like how
yes.
they can volunteer and help, and
yes.
then people would
yes.
answer you somehow.
So you just put in a comment numbers which are suitable for you. 3 categories in general: logistics. Number 3 was media or communication, and number 2 was warehousing. So logistics been split in like local logistic only Helsinki, but it was supposed that you have some kind of transport, at least some car. Then it was like car, van, and bigger than van. And then it split Helsinki, Uusimaa, Finland, Europe. and for each of these position was a number. For warehousing was that you can sort and pack, you can lift. Something else it was being like all day or part of the time. And for communication, it been I think I have sorted it by language, like Finnish, English, and both Finnish, English. So we need some people to talk because, to be honest, my Finnish and even English language level was lower than it is now, because a lot of this communication it gives you have to talk.
So how many people ended up responding to you?
Well, I went. It was. I cannot say, to be honest, that it was a panic post. I had some imagination in my head, but still, it was completely not structure model what I've been planning to do something. No, it just came to my head, so I wrote it, and then I went for a smoke. How long it is? 5 minutes maybe. And then I came back and it was over 80 comments, and I have to pay credit to our people because all of these people been responding like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Not a single one wrote, please do something, we need it. No. And then I understood that, okay, some people I knew well, but some people, first time I see them in Facebook, but okay, I need to sort them somehow by this category. So I started to do an Excel list. I think I have done it till 3 a.m. in the night, and then I say, okay, well, I have to go sleep because I need power for a Sunday next day. Next morning when I woke up, it was over 300 comments.
Wow.
And all of them 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.1.
Nice.
So that is. And Sunday has started, well, this is a podcast, we can say whatever we want. So I was in my underwear with a toothbrush. That's the first thing what I do. I dress up, take a toothbrush, and then I was walking with a toothbrush about 3 or 4 hours and talking by the phone because I could not, I was expressing myself, with a toothbrush. If somebody would see me through the window, say, this guy is totally crazy. But yeah, they've been calling and asking like a lot of different people who I knew, people who I didn't know, already wanted to help. We have seen your post, we can bring you that and that, we can that. But one of the biggest problem was, okay, we have people, we have a desire to help, but where do we do all this operation? I was thinking that we might do it in one of my work underground garage, but no, that was totally impossible in the end. And then I started to call to friends about the warehouse, just for a while, because everybody thought that, okay, well, this won't take so long.
How quickly did you get the warehouse, the first one?
I got a quite unexpected call Sunday. The lady, are we calling her names here or?
I don't know. We can.
No, she is living in quite a specific area of Finland now, so I will not mention her name, but I remember you. And a lot of people know who it was. She called me and said, Sergey, we have seen that you announced a post, you gathering the people. You need a warehouse. There is one option. People want to give for your operation for 1 week. 1 week. If it would be now, I would never agree because this is impossible. It's absolutely impossible. For 1 week, I cut Telehali in Helsinki, and this is kind of a famous place. And I've been there before. I say, excuse me, what? Because it's a huge event hall. It's a former. It's not a factory, but it's. Where they operate first with a coal and then with I think it was wheat. Anyway, it was tall, big construction, and inside there was 1,200 square meters with no walls, with nothing, like just plain space.
I understand totally. We got in Tampere this Messukeskus, which is like the exhibition center,
Yes.
and it's exactly the same. It's like this huge hangar, and just empty space, and we've got it for a month. We've got it starting March, I think, 1st of March, and end of March we had to leave somewhere. And yes, we moved quite a couple of times since, so I understand your pain. That's quite a pain. Like right now, it's 2,000 square meters. How many people volunteer here right now?
It quite seldom. It could be up to 50 people, but quite seldom. Usually it's kind of 25 to 30 people, core people who you see at least few times in a month.
So like since the beginning, these guys are coming here and doing stuff.
Mostly
and so on.
stayed with us, but some people who have joined us.
How much do you pay them?
Pay? Well, they're free to take nothing. We 100% volunteers, and our policy was from the beginning that even if we would have a possibility, a budget for food or salaries, we will spend all it to purchase necessary items, because honestly, most of us, they're not in so big need, and I really hope that here in Finland, like, but what we cannot say about people in Ukraine. So of course nobody gets nothing. We have some organizations who are donating to us very close to be expired food, which of course obviously we cannot deliver to Ukraine, because sometimes it's frozen food, sometimes it's cold food like sandwiches or something, and it's mostly outdated food and we are eating it, so you may call it as a salary, but not always. The first one takes it, so that is what's it. I want to finish the previous question. The key point was that when this lady called to me and says that you are able to use for 1 week warehouse, yes. So what do we do? Can you come Monday? It's if we are talking Sunday, then Monday next day, tomorrow 7 a.m. and then to see it and get the keys. Okay, I come. So I came, and then I was shocked even more, and we thought, what are we going to do with that? We announced in the internet that, okay, we are here for a week. But after a few hours, it started to be a flow, and it was crowded. But I won't take your breath, so please.
No, it's fine.
Please. Let's keep the question program.
A question program, whatever works. Like, can you drive a forklift?
Can I drive a forklift?
Yeah, this kind of thing.
You mean normally or over the people?
Whatever.
Well, now I can do both, but at the beginning I think I was able to drive forklift only.
Like, do you have this one like that you drive here? I've seen some on video.
Permits?
No, like, do you have the forklift itself? Like, because I see this manual ones. Do you have the drivable one?
Used to drive at my work. We have a big storage where we handling a paper in one of the harbors in Finland, but it's far away. I've been driving maybe 1.5 meters with that. I had imagination how to use it, but in our second warehouse in Vanta, I needed to drive it and load the trailer. So it was funny.
There was one story I wanted to talk about, one thing. So in November 2023, last year, you guys, the association, along with your Finnish Friends Association, you brought here a destroyed Russian tank. You brought a tank to Helsinki, whatever left from it. And I know that you've been quite involved in that operation. That was quite some operation. Approximately during the same time period, right before you brought the tank, there were some accidents with internet cables and pipes in the Baltic Sea. So just between us, have you been like dragging the tank through the bottom of the sea or something?
Well, it fell down once from the ferry. But we lifted, as you see.
It was quite a spectacle. Like I've heard some cool stories about how funny it was to get the tank here. I mean, like, how did you even get the permission? I guess you have to have some permission.
It's quite a story. The most funny thing is that the tank officially was not demilitarized.
Demilitarized. Like
Yes,
it's
yes,
like
repeat it.
demilitarized.
Nice, you've been practicing. So it was actually a weapon which you can repair and still use. So it was not a trash metal, not a scrap metal.
So did they let you do that?
No, well, this it was a process, a long process. Let's not talk to the details because it can take a long time. Half a year we've been planning and making all these documents, and it took a while. And it was a weapon, one of the biggest obstacles. Another obstacle was that, of course, it was big and heavy, but this is peanuts comparing that the meaning of all of this. That a lot of people were supporting us and say you're doing good thing, but when we ask like, can you assist us within the limits what you can do? Some people say that, sorry, I will not do that due to the security reasons, and I completely understand that. But in the end, everything ended up nicely, and as you remember, it being here and successfully went.
Why do you even bring it here? Like, some people may not understand it.
Why? The main goal was to remind people a lot of different people of different occupations, social ranking, different religions, all people in Finland who live as regular citizens or politicians, whatever, to remind people that war is still going. This bloody, destructive and scary war is still going in Ukraine. And we are not the one who have started it. We are defending. And to defend is usually difficult, and you pay a too high price with human lives. Either civilians or army, it doesn't matter. But war is still going, and of course, I'm saying it honestly, when I was a bit younger, I remember that there have been some conflicts, so they always happening some conflicts, but I was thinking, well, the war is bad, this is not good, but this is so far away, what can I do? I feel sorry for the people. And in our case, it's not that far away, and it's my motherland, and it feels totally different when you just reading about it or watching videos than when you see it with your own eyes. So even I myself, when I saw this tank, I just stand in front of it, in front of the gun, and I have only two questions. If I would see it alive when it was moving or standing or shooting, whatever, if it had been operable, working, and been in front of me, either I piss or shit my pants. What do I do? Probably both, because this is a huge, heavy animal, metal animal, the machine which is just bringing a death to this earth and nothing else.
I think it was extremely powerful, and I got quite emotional when I saw the tank. So, first of all, like, thank you guys for doing that. That was really good initiative. I also know that after you brought it, some local Russians from Helsinki and the region started to bring flowers to this tank to commemorate the fallen poor Russian boys who have maybe died in that tank or maybe not.
Probably yes.
What do you think about that? How did you react?
Well, first of all, there's it's a clear shows that of course I'm also against people dying, and I'm not happy that anybody is dying. But well, go back to your homeland and you will not die. Why did you come to Ukraine? Why did you start a war? So when you're guilty, sorry, you deserve that. And you came to my home, I didn't come to yours. So what did I feel? That Russian people, I understand, they support their own native people, but well, it's the same when you support maniac. If somebody is killing another person at the street, and that's okay, because another person said a bad word against him. He has a right. But in the Ukrainian case, nobody even say anything. So, well, they're guilty 100%, but you're still supporting them. So it's showing that hopefully never, but if this kind of conflict will come to Europe deeply, Baltics, Finland, Poland, whatever, these people will support it. But there are people living here, and most of them have Finnish passports. They know Finnish language quite well, most of them. And you're supporting, and I didn't see anybody who'd been kind of anti-war, just put the flowers because it's so bad. No, they aggressively support it. And well, we've been following some social networks, and what is they're writing there is it just they're eager to take more blood, more punishment. All Ukrainians need to be dead, and even those who are living here in Finland, in Ukraine, anybody. The nation has no right to exist. For what? Like what I have done to you? I mean, I can do something, but what I have done to you? Why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to kill my people, my parents? We are living in a modern Holocaust. It's just a nation change. So what I did feel angriness when I see these people like, well, we also brought a tank to get a social impact. People, they see who is bringing the flowers. We put a signs around that don't bring anything to the tank because it's strictly related to the Russian aggression, whatever it is. It's a toy or flowers or photos. Well, don't do that, nobody die. And you are so ugly, so you are even arguing after that. You brought flowers, somebody taking it out because there's a sign, and they argued and in an angry way. Come on. But of course, they know that they're protected here in Finland, so there've been a lot of provocations. They knew that, of course, if we do something against them, that we will be guilty. And it was difficult just to hold.
So you are doing this logistics operation here. Lots of volunteering, different kind of, you can say even like political projects, because this tank is like socially, politically, it influences a lot the society in Finland, in Helsinki. And given this circumstance, do you feel safe
No.
when you do it? Why?
Because you never can feel safe 100%. And if you're feeling safe, you, you're making a big mistake.
I've heard of some safety issues or incidents, let's say. If you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. But if you want to comment, you can as well tell maybe briefly what happened, because I think that's really, really important. And not everybody realizes that doing volunteering publicly and actually publicly supporting Ukraine, even here in Europe, it's not unicorns and rainbows. It's actually not only difficult, but it's also dangerous to an extent. So, you don't have to go into details, and we can skip this. But if you have anything to say about this, you can say it.
No, security first. Not safety only, security as well. We do cooperating with certain organizations which are helping us in this matter. We do know that we are under the eye of both sides, good and not good organizations. We do know something about the bad boys, and good boys do know something about us. So what I want to say, we are not alone. And of course, even if you have somebody always walking you, it's not a guarantee that nothing will happen with it. Because it's a million ways to do. We are not talking about some murdering now, some really crazy heavy stuff, but even a small stuff. Some of my ladies been threatened at the place they live, completely far away from the warehouse. And it was not just the ladies who once came to warehouse and helped to sort boxes. It was one of the key figures. And they've been active in our community, in our association. So it's not a coincidence. And then we've been receiving some very specific items, different specific items to our warehouse. Some of them been intercepted by good boys. Some of them came to us. But that's you never feel safe. But for this, of course, you're getting experience, and you always need to keep an eye on the security issues. For example, it's not super difficult to find any of our locations, but we are trying not to publish it so much because, we don't want any trouble. All we want is that Ukraine win in a war, get back their territories, and live in a peace, not disturbing anybody in the world. And we are helping for that, and we are waiting for this moment. We are doing that moment come closer. And after that, it's a long way of rebuilding Ukraine, but I think it will be a bit different for us. I hope we can just a little relax after that. But I was thinking about that maybe a week ago, just pop up in my mind about the things what we are talking, that if you compare the Second World War in the security issues factor, it was kind of clear. Those are speaking German, those are speaking French or Russian or English, quite clear. There are only few cases when person were like bilingual or something, and mostly Germans live in Germany and Russians live in Soviet Union or in Russia. There was just a few exceptions. Probably we can count it on our hands. But now the world is so globalized. It's so international that Finland, of course, it's a worse example. But even in Thailand, we have people from Ukraine, from Russia, and in many other different countries who've been lived there before the full-scale invasion. So how do they have to deal between themselves? Do they feel safe? Because you never know what is inside the head of the person who is walking next to you.
There are lots of public Russian organizations in Finland and abroad, of course, but particularly here. Have you received some cooperation offers, or maybe they wanted to help? How do you respond to organizations which want to collaborate with your warehouse or with association in general?
I cannot say I received a lot, at least me personally. I cannot speak from the name of association, but I know that there have been some offers. It's difficult to trust. So if they want to help, if they suddenly want to help, well, you're welcome, but please do it yourself. Because that's the easiest. If I would be them and if I would need some information or something, I would just come with a help offer and say that, hey guys, I want to help you do something. And then one beautiful day, I will turn it around. It's a possible scenario. It's not like it has to be, but it's a possible. And well, we try to avoid this cooperation because what kind of reputation? Because still Finns, a lot of Finns been thinking before the full-scale invasion that, where are you from? From Ukraine. Russia. No, it's a different country. You're anyway Soviet Union. So now, luckily, it's too high price for that, but luckily people recognize Ukraine that is totally different and independent country. And they see, you're Ukrainian, so you already, when you state that you're Ukrainian, you're already not a Russian. And probably you don't like a Russian. Obviously, you don't like Russians. And what will people think? That, okay, hey, we are Russian organization named somehow, and we are Ukrainian organization. Now we are cooperating. And people will think like, well, what do you mean when you're cooperating? Of course they can help, but it will be even for them better if they show that they're helping by themselves. Like, okay, yeah, we are a Russian organization, but we feel guilty for our government, for our people, but we are living here in Finland, we want to help, so please. I'm not 100% sure that all intentions to help are good, but if they really want, so why not?
There is tons of NGOs all over the world, in Europe, in Finland in particular, and you guys are like one of them. Of course, you're helping Ukraine, Ukrainian Association in Finland, obvious. But I think Finnish people specifically, they're quite used to donating through NGOs like Red Cross or UNICEF or other similar so-called big guys, which are extremely large NGOs with huge turnovers and so on and so forth. And they have received lots and lots of money with the start of the full-scale invasion. If I'm like a regular Finnish person and I want to help Ukraine, why should I donate to you, to your association? Why not go to Red Cross or UNICEF or something?
We try to position ourselves all the time that we are not a competitors. If somebody else is helping, it's also good, but how they're helping is totally different. First, why not? Why come to us? Because we are strongly supporting Ukraine, and you can see that on our web pages or in other places. And obviously, we are not represented in Russia and Belarus. Our Ukrainian association in Finland. You can read it from the name. And then you are not controlling some processes which are very suspicious, in my opinion, when the Red Cross was supposed to evacuate people from the occupied part of Ukraine, but they did not. Excuse me. Because I know how the costs are spreading and they got financing for it, but they never done it. And there are a lot of questions to Red Cross about that. Obviously, we understand that the huge organizations like Red Cross, UNICEF and others, it's easier to do, just donate by mobile pay number, what we also have. SMS, they have a huge campaign, they're visible. There's a principle of Red Cross, the more you report, the more you get donations. That's a fact. It's a science. That's a fact. It's easier, they're more visible, but I, as a volunteer, I understand that to keep running this huge machine, you need some budget. For operational budget. You need to rent a space, you need to pay salaries, you need to buy food, you need to pay rent or buy machinery, what helping you, and there is like a never finishing list. I don't know the exact figures, but I can say that never in these organizations 100% of your money go into the charity of specific aid, let's say to Ukraine or Turkey after earthquake or something. So some part, and as for my information, bigger part of the money you donate stays on operational budget, which we don't have. We are extremely grateful to the Finnish nation, how they're helping us. Of course, we are getting a lot of benefits, a lot of things for free. We are grateful for that. But we don't take for our operational costs. So of course, like, we are paying for gasoline to take a car to Poland, that's obviously, but we are not paying for gasoline, for example, for my gasoline when I'm driving a lot to warehouse and other locations. So all the money, what you donate, like 99% will go to the specific aim, what is stated in this for humanitarian purposes, for civilian or refugee purposes, they will go. In which form it will be? Will it be organized a summer camp for refugees, or it will be hire some organization for consulting them how to find a work? This is another story. But all this money, what came to us, it's going there. Because we are volunteers. All of us are volunteers.
I think you've said it already, you've mentioned that, but yeah, I know how it even worked with when you have lots of people here and how you've received like food for the people who are volunteering here, and you also like received it for free, so you didn't pay even for the food. So yeah, that's actually a very, very good argument. It's like efficiency of the donation.
Yeah, exactly, efficiency. I had one moment when at the beginning of full-scale invasion, the Red Cross wanted, let's say, some people from the Red Cross. I have no guarantees that they were really from the Red Cross. How do they relate? They wanted to teach us how to volunteer. And they said, we have shipped from all over the Finland already 2 full trailers with aid to Ukraine. I put my business card on table, say 6, see ya.
I mean, even our small organization in Tampere, like in the first month, we've sent 2 trucks of the full-scale invasion. in the first month from Tampere? Well, but other thing that people are thinking or are concerned about is like, everybody's talking about Ukraine as like corrupt country, that maybe you're stealing humanitarian aid, maybe nothing, or like not everything gets there where it's supposed to go, and so on and so forth. Like, so out of this 66 trucks, how many actually reached the destination, if I may ask?
Sure.
How many out of 66 trucks that you've sent have actually reached the destination?
68. Because we counted only fully loaded trucks by us. Well, all of them reached the destination. I never can have 100% guarantees that every piece, every box is sent to the proper hands, because it's impossible to control. And if I start to control that, the number would be probably 6, but not 66. But I can guarantee that all of them ended in Ukraine. That's 100%. And most of the stuff been reported to us and to the publicity, to the public, that it's been distributed. The idea is that we are collecting aid here, delivering and donating it to another organization in Ukraine, those one who can process these volumes, and then it's their responsibilities. We are discussing in advance like who they're gonna help, because it's useless to send to animal shelter human food, mostly like mayonnaise. We are discussing it, but we are not discussing every box. So then when they receive the aid, the responsibility is on them. So if they do something wrong, I feel sorry and pity for that, and I try to do my best to avoid that, but I cannot walk them with a hand. And as for my information, we did not have that cases, so everything was okay.
And except for, obviously, I guess city of Manta is renting you this space, giving you this space free of charge. Otherwise, with this huge logistics operation, does government help you anyhow? Or maybe in some areas there are some, legislation issues that you face and something could be improved?
I would say they support us. Not a direct help. There is a group, I think it's called working group of friendship between Finland and Ukraine, and there are some government members in this group who know us, but we never got some excuses or discounts if we are talking about the laws. Luckily, we did not broke the law ever, as I know. But there wouldn't be any excuse or a discount.
And last block of questions, last but not least. Apart from all that, do you also have a job?
This is somehow related to the previous question about stealing a humanitarian aid.
Yes, that's the next one. How much for a kilogram of humanitarian aid?
Well, it's easy to count. €2 per kilo, just feel free to take. The scales are on the exit. No, well, I have to say, if you're talking seriously, I have to say that my own position is not working position, but personal position is that, first of all, people are judging on others by themselves. So if I would steal something, I think that everybody else steal as well. That's a psychology fact.
That's true.
Yes, I do have a job, and luckily I have a good job. Luckily I get experience there, so I can work there with one eye closed. Luckily my boss understands the situation, and I haven't been at work in 2022, first 1.5 months, so all March and half of the April, because I needed to be in the warehouse. And I always can lift up the phone at work or write an email or do something. Sometimes I can quit and go here or another place. I try not to overtake it, but still, a lot of people don't have this possibility even to answer a phone call due to some reasons. And I have to say that all these achievements, all these results made by the team, by the great people doing great work, you cannot personalize it. And our people, at least if I'm talking from the name of a logistics center, it's a huge mix of different roles and occupations, like in society, in age meaning, in occupation meaning. So we have quite a good specialists in IT, car mechanics, managers, developers, architects, doctors. So we are fine. We don't need to do this bullshit what these greedy small people talking about. They're eating this food what we are sending. Well, come and join us then. Once you've done it, you will feel shame.
I once got accused that I'm spending donations on buying some expensive canned food and sending it to Ukraine. That was an accusation. I didn't do that, though maybe at some point it would make sense to do something like that. Not now anymore, I guess. But yeah.
And I want to say that it would be quite stupid, at least from my side, if I would steal or eat something here, because I spent more on a gasoline what I'm driving to be here every week.
Have you ever counted like how much money have you put into that operation of your own money?
My own money. I would like to keep this figure not public, but there is something more than just my gasoline. And I'm not alone in this. I know that other people have invested something. We are not talking about the time, vacations. No. Just
cash.
Plain cash.
I know what you're talking about. So you have a job.
Yes.
Have a daily job. You are managing the largest logistics operation of help to Ukraine from Finland. Actually in the Nordics, I believe. Do you have any time to like sleep or eat? Like, do you have any free time?
I have a cruise control in a car. Well, the main idea of my answer will be completely strange to you now, but in the end you will reveal the truth. Main idea of our logistics center, now I sound like a politician, is efficiency. A perfect warehouse is empty warehouse for us. Still like a politician. We of course can stand and hit the wall with a head for hours, for days, and what it will bring to us. But our thinking, our philosophy is to make every process, whatever we are doing, the most efficient as we can. That's why we have developed our internal applications. That's why we have structurized processes. That's why we have plans. That's why we have communication. That's why we optimize as much as we can at the moment our activity. There's still a long way to be perfect, but we are on the way to it. And in the beginning, of course, the average kilometers what I have on my phone per evening at warehouse was about 7 to 12 kilometers just walking. But okay, I have to say I'm walking more than others because I always check it. And phone calls, it was about, maximum was 40 or 45, but average is 20 per day. It can be 30-second call or 2 minutes, and the messages I never counted. Now it's much more less calls, but emails and messaging, it altogether, let's say calls, messages, emails, about 20 per day. I'm counting a unique recipient, like if you send me 2 messages, it's counted as one. And it's not like a talking with your friends about some funny things. It's specifically about our activity. But first you get used to that, and when it's not happening, you're panicking a little bit, like why nobody is sending anything. And second of all, you optimize it. So you know that you are driving a car after work to warehouse, to logistics center, you have time, please call me after 4. And then you can combine 2 things. You can use the headphones, as I said at my work. You can easily forward a question, not to explain the person the same thing what another person will do. So yeah, with the help of the team, by delegating different roles, we came to the efficiency. I hope now it's revealed, and it's not that difficult. Yes, it's responsibility. Yes, it's taking time. Yes, it's taking personal time, because it's stupid to talk about work time. It's like half cut, but it's manageable.
So no crotcheting. No crotcheting.
No, not yet.
In the evening, no.
No.
Okay. If you receive €1 million donation, and there is one condition. You have to decide right here, right now, what to do with it, or it's gone. What would you do with it?
I would redonate it to the drone army in Ukraine.
Why?
Because drones has a future. They are small, effective, and cheap.
Why not buy, I don't know, some medical equipment?
If I would have a possibility, I mean, if the donator says that here's $1 million, do what you want, you can even eat it. Then I would donate it to the drone factory.
Why not medical equipment or anything like that?
Then less invader army in Ukraine, then less medical equipment we would need.
Gotcha.
And it's not that easy and that cheap to buy equipment in Finland. Plus, the war is about money and time. Even if I go and buy equipment tomorrow and send it immediately to Ukraine, I lose already at least 5 days. Bank transfer will last probably 1 banking day. Then next day they can order supplies, items what they need for producing the drones. Then 3rd day they receive it, I hope, in the best scenario. 4th day they start to make it. 5th day drones are ready, they go. And they making a rapid impact, immediate effect, and so on. And drones are different. They're not only killing, they're saving people as well. They're evacuating people, they're helping to evacuate, they're helping to, they're even saving lives. It sounds a little bit strange for people who don't follow it so hard, the situation in Ukraine, but it's even saving Russian lives. When they leave their hands against the drone and say, I want to give up, drone can walk him to the Ukrainian positions and he could give up. Nobody kill him. They will exchange him. Saved life.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. What would you like to say to people of Finland, to people in Europe, all around the world, about Ukraine and about Ukrainian volunteers and in general? What would be the message?
I was not preparing for this question, but what I want to say is that war continues. Once again, war who have not started by us. It's an aggressors war. We will not give up. We will fight for our life, for our freedom. Now I might need your help. This
Existence.
well, we are laughing because we cannot pronounce, but in other words, this is a war for our lives, even if we are in Finland, because it's a war for Europe, it's a war for democracy, this is an obvious fact. If you don't trust me, which you don't have, but just look what they done on the place where they occupied. What, anything good there?
Mariupol
The
completely
people who've been
destroyed.
waiting for them, Russia, Russia, they've been shouting, okay, here you go. What? Anybody happy there?
Mariupol completely destroyed. Bakhmut completely destroyed. Avdiivka completely destroyed. Now again, as we are recording this interview, they are conducting a huge offensive in Kharkiv region, potentially in Sumy region. And of course, they don't seem to want to stop at all.
It's more and more and more. They're shelling kindergartens, they're shelling hospitals, the most vulnerable places, shelling schools, just random houses. What is that for? Like, okay, you can rebuild the cities, houses, kindergartens, you can do that sooner or later. But what to do with the human lives?
Before we started recording, they've bombed Kharkiv and they've bombed a book printing factory, and like at least 6 people have been killed. I was checking news just before we started the recording. So yeah, it's every day. And that's why we are doing this. That's why it's important to talk about Ukraine. That's why it's important to tell people what we're doing. And that's why what we are doing here, what you're doing with all the team, is extremely important. I want to thank you for today. I want to thank you for this conversation and for what you're doing. This
Thank
is
you
amazing.
for the invitation.
So this has been KvitCast, a podcast about Ukraine and Ukrainian volunteers abroad. Thank you so much. This was our pilot episode. I have no idea what I'm doing with this, so please, if you like it, please subscribe. Please press the like button and share it with your friends, and hopefully, if this gets enough attention, we can make some more.
We will. And in addition, that Vitaly is doing a great job as well with great intentions. So this is a pilot version of the podcast. Never been practicing. I never seen those questions. He probably as well.
Thank you.
Yes. No, I see it's a handwritten on your. What is this?
Yes, I
it's
pretend to be
tablet.
preparing. Yes.
But the project have to live, and project is important. So please support her. And I didn't say what I want to say to the Finnish people. Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I was swimming in my thoughts. But very simple. Please help us. You don't have to fight for us. We know how to do it. We can do it. We can win. But please help us. Fighting is different. Fighting is frontline battlefront. Fighting is in a hospital for lives of civilians, troops, animals. Fighting is here at logistics center by sending all this aid to the category of people who need it, who are in need. Fight is on the demonstration to show that we are not guilty for anything and we've been shelled just randomly. Fight is every day. So please help us. And we support and extremely grateful for you who have supported us before. But situation is getting hard. The situation is difficult, and it's getting even more difficult. So we would need your support, and we will do our best to protect ourselves and yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for the invitation.
and see you next time.